Hey guys, and welcome back. You're watching the Camera 64 podcast, and I'm your host, Alfonso Chavez. And as always, we're coming to you from sunny San Antonio, Texas. Well, today, guys, in San Antonio, it may be sunny, but it's a little chilly outside. Well, in case you're wondering, we're from South Texas. So, what is chilly for us? Well, chilly for us is anywhere between 40 and 50 degrees outside. And it makes us have our sweaters till we can bundle up and keep warm, right, guys? If you're from San Antonio, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're from up north, you're probably wondering, what are these freaks doing? It's only 50 degrees and he has a jacket on, our sweater. Yeah, you're right. We do. It is 50 degrees and I do have a jacket or sweater. And this coming weekend, supposedly it's supposed to be in the mid 30s for the highs, which is just crazy for us. That's cold. That's really cold, guys. But anyway, aside from all of that, today I am here to talk a little bit about my Canon R6. After about 6 months of use and shooting a whole bunch of events with it, from weddings and quinceañeras, some portraiture work as well. So this is what I'm talking about right here. The lovely Canon R6. Right now on there I have the 50 millimeter 1.8, which I picked up at the same time that I bought the camera, about a week later. And then a week after that I ended up picking up the 35 1.8. And let me tell you guys, with both of those lenses, you can cover probably 90% of your wedding and your quinceañera coverage with those two lenses. And they are just fantastic for the price. The fact that they're small, they're lightweight. I personally shoot with a battery grip, but if you don't, if you just pick up a second battery and swap that out, then you can do that too. It's just convenient for me to have two batteries in the camera at all times. And basically with those two batteries, mixing in just a little bit of video here and there, if I was just doing pictures only, I think I know that the two batteries last the entire day, but the fact that I throw in a little bit of video in there will have me changing batteries like almost at the end. I would say like the last hour, maybe last 30 minutes to half an hour before I'm about to leave. I will put in a fresh battery just to close off the day. But if I was just shooting pictures only, I think I would be just fine. Mixing in video with this camera is kind of weird. I will say that, because you have to jump between your custom one and your video if you want to do it correct, or the right way, like most photographers would say. But I don't do that. I do the thing that we're not supposed to do as supposed professionals, right? I just hit the record button, which you can do, so you can be in photo mode in aperture priority, and you have at the top, you got your little record button right there, and so you can just hit that record button and you immediately start shooting video on this camera. Now there's some things about that that are not great, and one of the biggest fact being is that you have no control over what exactly the camera is doing. You don't know the ISO, you don't know the aperture, you don't know any of that. The only thing you're able to set is your frame rate ahead of time. You can choose that in the menu, what you want to shoot at, whether that's 4K or 1080p. And then after that, the camera basically makes all the decisions for you. So you have no idea what's going on. But for me, it works because of the fact that I don't shoot a whole lot of video. And the fact that I've done it already a few times where I just go ahead and flip it in, because it's so easy. You're shooting away and then you just kind of, and you're hitting the video and it's recording. It starts recording, right? And I just let the camera do what it's gonna do, right? Because oftentimes the video is kind of just an extra throw-in for me. We do video. We also do video and provide that service. And in case you're wondering, that's why we have our C100s, and these are for recording video. When a client, when somebody hires us to shoot video, we pull out these two C100s. We get our two C100s, and that's what we shoot our videos with. So I don't really need a whole lot of video from my R6. So I just let the camera deal with it, and up to this point, I can't lie, it's done an okay job. It's not it hasn't done a horrible job, let's put it that way. Now, would it be nice to be able to control your settings like on that C100? Yeah, it would be, but again, it's situational, right? Because take for instance, just this past weekend we did a quinceañera, and it was like super fast paced. We got to the quinceañera, we weren't running behind, but the limo showed up early, so the parents wanted us to get there as quick as we could, and we did that. Well, as soon as we walked in, I shot about maybe 20-25 pictures there, and then we immediately walked out, and from their front door to the limo was maybe about, gosh, I don't know, 10 feet. So I didn't even have time to make an adjustment on my on my video camera in order to capture that. So I missed that little snippet, but I didn't just miss it on the video. I missed it with my picture camera as well, because I just got a little sidetracked, and it happened like that fast. And so in that particular situation, if I would have known, I would have just easily hit that button and let the camera deal with it. The camera probably would have gotten it right. If that's what I was going to do at that particular moment, there's a good chance that the camera would have gotten it right and saved that shot for me, at least on the video side. So there are some advantages to letting the camera do it that way. If you're you have to have control, right? You got to have control of all your settings all the time. Then I understand why that's not going to work for you as a photographer. But for me, it works. So even though there's a little bit to complain about, it's not a deal breaker for me. Now on the picture side, the pictures have been amazing. The biggest feature that I really like about the R6 is the autofocus. Now, for myself, I shoot, let me go grab it. I shoot with this old, very old Canon 1D Mark III. Now this is my camera of choice. Now, if you shot from this camera, this is like Canon's worst focusing camera ever, supposedly. It had a lot of issues at its release, and even after some firmware updates and some actual physical corrections to this camera, it's still not the best focusing camera out there, and as a matter of fact, it's still lacking in a lot of ways. But I like the camera. I like the look of the camera for a lot of reasons. I'm not going to go into it in this video, but I like the look of that camera, so I still use that camera a whole lot. Well, if you've been shooting DSLRs for any amount of time, and I think most photographers would tell you that your best focus point is your center, right in the center of the focusing area. That central focus point is the one that you want to use, and that's the same rule that I still use on this camera today, right? But with the R6, you don't have to do that anymore. Technically, you do not have to do that at all anymore. Focus and recompose, that's a thing of the past. You don't have to do that on the R6. I mean, you literally can just point it, just like a point and shoot. And I would say now it doesn't catch the face every single time. There's a lot of factors that go into why it does not. But I would say 90 to 95% of the time, you're gonna get what you want in focus. It's almost like magic, right? The camera knows exactly what it is that you're trying to focus on, and it does a really good job of focusing it for you, which for me, that's just crazy, right? Because focusing your camera back in the old days, or even now on an old camera like this, that's like 50% of your job is keeping your lens and camera in focus on whatever it is that you're trying to take a picture of, right? Whether it's a bride walking down the aisle or a quince girl doing her money train dance, right? So you don't have to worry about that anymore. That's just, it's just mind-blowing, right? It really is mind-blowing, and it's hard. I can't explain it to you until you actually get the camera and hold on to it, take it on some shoots. It finds faces and eyes just that snappy, guys. That snappy. It's crazy. It's unbelievable at some times, right? Portrait sessions, you never miss. Gosh, I mean, I never like to say never, but you never miss. 99.9% of the time you never miss with these cameras. The R6 does a fantastic job on that front. That's the biggest point. Number two for me is the fact that the raw files off of this camera are also very pliable. I mean, you can really push and pull this camera like never before. Now, I know files like on these old cameras like the 5D Mark II, which I still own two, this 1D3, if you stay within one stop, usually it does a good job. And you're okay, but now you can really, I mean literally really mess your stuff up, mess your pictures up on the R6, and there's a very good chance that you can get it back, which is amazing, right? If you're new. If you're an old photographer like myself, gosh, I mean, you don't need, I mean, I personally don't need that much latitude, but like they say, it's always better to have than to not have. So I will definitely take that from you, Canon, especially from this R6. I will take those files that I can push 3 stops. I mean, literally push it 3 stops in either direction, plus or minus. Now, there's always going to be some kind of shadow, you know, some kind of, not shadow, there's always going to be some kind of graininess in the shadows. That's just Canon. I mean, it's not a big deal, and to be quite honest, I've never had anybody complain about their shadows being way too noisy, right, and wanting to send me stuff back because it's just unacceptable. I've never had that happen. I've been doing this for a long time now. I've had complaints about other stuff, for stuff I might have missed because I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, or somebody didn't tell me about the secret dance, which is information that the photographer should have ahead of time. But that's, again, that's a video for another for another time. But for actually grainy pictures, I've never had a complaint. Never, not once. And I've been doing this for over 15 years now, guys. I've been shooting Canon for a very long time, and I love this camera so much. This is my oldie but goodie, but I still love it. But my R6, hey, if it's gonna let me take better pictures and produce faster returns without setting up a flash in many situations, because I can push and pull it so far, and the fact that all these new prime lenses are all 1.8, 50 1.8, 35 1.8, and I've got an 85 1.4, which I didn't talk about in this video, but I do own, and that too is fantastic. But with those kind of glasses that are inexpensive, with that kind of glass that's inexpensive like that, I think at this point right now, if they have the 16 2.8, I'm waiting for the 24 1.8. That would be great, or even the 24 2.8 would be great too in the RF lineup. I think that's something that Canon needs to put out like right away. That's something we really need. The 24 would be fantastic. I would definitely order it and buy it day one upon its availability. And at this point, gosh, that would be fantastic, because then you would have the you would have the 24, the 35, the 50, and the 85. Those 4 lenses, and you'd be set. I mean, really, as a photographer, especially with this camera, with the R6, you'd be set, and you wouldn't have to worry about much more after that, guys. So as you can tell, I've got rave reviews for the R6. There are some things that are not perfect, but then again, what camera is perfect, if you ask yourself, right? There's no camera that's perfect, but it's doing a great job. I am going to be ordering another one, hopefully at the middle of the year, just because my son really enjoys shooting video on it. Now, I don't want to go too much about video, but if you shoot in 4K, it does overheat. Shooting 1080, I've been able to shoot up to 3 hours in using 1080, and it's been fine. So that's part of the reason why we're going to go ahead and pick this up, for that fact that I can also use it as a video camera in junction with my C100s, and I think it's going to make for some great matching video, which I've already done. In case you're wondering, I have already done that, and it's been fantastic. Again, because I like shooting my 1D, right? But guys, if you're considering the R6, absolutely. Lenses I would definitely have you pick up right away are the 50 1.8 and the 35 1.8. With those two, you can absolutely do just about everything, including portraits as well, group shots and all that good stuff, right? But guys, I hope you're really enjoying these videos. I haven't had a chance to do one last week because there's been a lot going on personally. But I am here. We will be recording some more videos here soon. Let me know what you want to talk about. You want to hear more about the R6? Or maybe you would like to have some ideas about maybe what you can do to help stir up some business for your photography business. I can help you with that too. Also, if you want to send me a note personally and talk about anything, I mean, feel free to send me a message. It's my name, Alfonso, at camera64.com, and our website is camera64.com. You can also find us on Instagram at Camera64 Photography, as well as on Facebook at my full name, which is Alfonso C. Chavez III on Facebook. Till next time, guys, you take care. Have fun. If you don't have the newest gear, like the R6, don't be worried, guys. Don't worry about it. Don't fret, because I still have the 1D Mark III with 10 megapixels. Count them, 10. And I still get great pictures, guys. So you keep shooting. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.